I'm Jimmy Holland, and welcome to another edition of A Preacher and His Work. We have so many great gospel preachers across our country and around the world, and this is our way of helping you get to know them just a little bit better. We are coming to you from polishing the pulpit with this interview, and it's always a great time to be with brethren, and it's a great work to be a part of, and I am excited to sit down with Jeremy Smith. Jeremy, I appreciate you being with us.
Absolutely, brother. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you. What congregation are you currently with?
That'd be plural right now. I have been preaching at the Greensboro Church of Christ for about 7 years and at the Linden Church of Christ for about 4 years.
All right. Well, total, how long have you been preaching?
I've been filling in various things going back close to a decade. About ever since I graduated from Faulkner, I got the vocational Christian ministry as the second degree there, and so I've always found a way to use it.
Well, and I'm very thankful that you have. What motivated you to get into preaching? I
don't know what's more important. There's all these things that I'm passionate about and all these things that I like to do, and I find a way to do all of them. My wife still fusses at me about that, but the most important thing I can do is share the truth that I know, because somebody shared it with me. I was 17 years old when a man who at the time was a construction worker, and funny story is now he's a preacher here at Polishing the Pulpit, but at the time he was a construction worker and he taught me the gospel. And I felt like if he could do that, then why couldn't I do that as well?
And I know you're involved in the news business, and you're involved in preaching. And the last question that I have to ask you, and for me it's the most important question, when you look at the news, when you look at the church today, when you look at our country, if there was just one message you could share with the world, what would that one message be?
In its most simplistic form, I would say there is such a thing as absolute truth. That is discoverable, and it doesn't matter what the changing culture and what the changing society says. There is an absolute, unchangeable, eternal truth. And the real answer to everything that we have to do in this life is discover what that is. Now, of course, what is entailed under that is obviously the gospel, and it's Jesus Christ and Him crucified. But you can't get to that unless you can establish the basics of God and who God is, and then from there what God wants of man. And those are the ultimate questions. And it doesn't matter what you see, as you mentioned, the news business. It doesn't matter what you see on television, in the news, what's being sold as sort of the agenda of the day. None of that has changed who God is and what His message for man is, that is absolute, that is eternal, and it absolutely is discoverable. And that's what our job is to help deliver that message.
Absolutely. Jesus said in John 17:17, "Thy word is truth." And that's definitely a message the world needs to hear.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, I'm so thankful that you sat down with us. I appreciate your time very much.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Love you, brother.
Appreciate you being with us, and I look forward to seeing you next time on A Preacher and His Work.
To God be the glory, great things. The preceding program was a production of the Fort Payne Church of Christ TV studio located in Fort Payne, Alabama.